Good morning. It's 11:05 and welcome to Centermac's monthly real estate update. Now, in the past, and we've been doing it for nearly 6 months now, I think. We've been live streaming a monthly market update within Centermac, just within the company. So today I decided to share, and I'm so pleased to share so much information about what's going on in San Diego and also in the Bay Area. And we got new audience here, Amber. All right, Amber. Thank you for joining us. And then let's see who else is here. Okay, I got Maria. Maria from Centermac Real Estate too. Join us. Now, just in case you don't know, today we are live streaming to both Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I don't know how many people will be watching us on Twitch, but it's worth a try. And on the YouTube side, we are live streaming to the Real Biz Academy. In case you're wondering who the Real Biz Academy is, it is a YouTube channel that I established to provide training for real estate agents or for people who are interested in becoming a realtor, where we share information about how to get your license and also information about where to get training to be a realtor. And every month we also share our market data on the Real Biz Academy. Hopefully you subscribe to it. If you want to subscribe to it, just Google or just go to YouTube and search for the Real Biz Academy. Also, live stream to um, a couple of other channels. We also live stream to Centermac weekly sales training. That's our private this channel, but today we're going public. And also we live stream to my Facebook's channel, my Facebook group, Centermac Real Estate School, where we have some students that might be watching our market update from that Facebook group. And of course, to my personal network on Facebook. Without further ado, let me introduce to you my guest for today. And in the middle, we have Jean Riley from San Diego, and she's part of our Centermac family. And we have a Centermac affiliate in the beautiful city of San Diego. And that affiliate is known as Centermac SD. And Jean Riley has been with us for the last 5 years and has been participating in our market update for the last 6 months. So Jean, I want to say a few words to the audience.
Hi everyone, I'm Jean. I joined Centermac because I enjoy Kenny's license class. So my husband and I both become Centermac agent, and I have been with Centermac ever since the first day I had my license, and so I am so blessed and honored to be able to work with Centermac SD in San Diego. San Diego is a very hot market right now, so I'm looking forward to share the market update with you.
All right, thank you, Jean. And then, of course, to your right is the beautiful Lily Garipova. And Lily is an outstanding real estate agent in the Bay Area. She has been with Centermac for 4+ years now. Hi, Lily, say a few words to the audience.
Hi. I'm the same here as Jean. I was here. I was a student of Kenny, and I stayed with this brokerage since the beginning. So because I like the classes and enjoy working in the company. Yes, and I would be happy to share the market update today about Northern California today.
All right, awesome. Now, if you are watching us from Facebook, you can actually share your comments. Say something to us, or you have any questions. Don't be hesitate to ask. I mean, hesitant to ask. So just go ahead and write something in the chat, so we know if you have any questions or your reaction to our program and so forth. We promise to do our best And this will not be the last. We hopefully will bring more information to you going forward on a monthly basis. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and start with Jean Riley. Now, Jean, I'm going to put you on the screen by yourself first. Okay,
Okay.
now it's just the two of us. All right. Okay, Jean, give us a quick summary of what you're going to share with us today, and then dive into what you're going to share with us.
So first, I want to start with some key indicator of the San Diego real estate market that include the average price, median price, days on market, and the inventory. So that will kind of give us a quick introduction into the new community I want to discuss, because there's a new community near where I live, and I'm really excited to share with the audience, because I already have about 5 buyers are interested in buying, and we can't even get on the priority list now. So I think
Oh
this is
my
going to be
God.
one of the hottest things in San Diego. Yeah, I'm
You
so
know, when the
excited.
market was going real crazy, I mean, a listing might attract up to 30 potential buyers. So people will start thinking, well, if I'm a buyer, how am I going to get a property into escrow? Uh, what's the situation like for new homes? Would I have a better chance if I try to buy a new home as opposed to an existing home?
Yeah, for sure. I am one of those agents has the headache of getting my buyer into escrow. So last weekend I show, oh my God, several buyers, just different type of property. One of them was for a buyer in Northern California. She's not even here, but I went to see the property for her. It was a coming soon, so we got in there like before everybody else because I was like diligent enough to call the agent like, when can I see it? And it was not even active yet. The agent said, okay, you can see it tomorrow. So we went to see. So that one, we submitted offer. Hopefully we'll have a good news very soon. There were a few offer, but my buyer's cash, and we came in with a very clean offer. So hopefully we'll get that accepted. The second buyer, and that's the situation Kenny was mentioning about, so many buyers want to buy one property. So I show one buyer is a relocation buyer. She has moved from East Coast to here for 6 months already, and unfortunately we haven't found her things she like yet. So we toured a couple property last weekend, and it was crazy. The showing were 15 minutes apart, and they stagger. And actually, there's multiple group within that 15 minutes. It's crazy. I think I counted. They were like, I don't know, 100 showing up over the weekend.
Oh my
It's so
God.
crazy.
Now, let
And
me ask
funny
you
thing,
this, though, Jean, these days, because sellers got so many choices, are they leaning toward buyer with the best price or other considerations come into play?
well, I think typically for the sellers, they typically care most about the price. And then once they get the price they feel they can work with, then they look at the terms. So let me give an example. Typically, we know cash buyer like to get some type of discount, right? So when the market is not so crazy, typically cash buyer can get maybe $10,000, $20,000 or so discount. But right now, the seller, like the offer I submitted, I was in touch with the agent yesterday multiple times. She was there telling me this, and that's a crazy property because on the online estimate, like realtor.com, I think it's at least $50,000 under the listing price right now. So the listing price was 685, and the online estimate where the potential buyer can see is only like 620, 630. So I try to negotiate a little bit, and the agent is like pretty much like, I don't think you have a chance. So we submit the offer, and then the news I got was the literally this property just went on active for maybe a day or two, and
Hmm.
she already got multiple offer. The agent is telling me other people, my buyer's offer is the lowest one. Unfortunately, the cash buyer has
Oh,
the lowest offer price.
I see.
But
Have you brought any buyers to see new homes lately?
yes, I have. In fact, I'm closing. Well, I last year I had like 6 or 7 new home purchases, so I'm actually closing one I think next week, and then another one March, and then another one July. So with new home, the problem is, um, my buyer tend to like to buy in a good school district, and with the new home, the inventory is not that much either. The Pacific Village, which I have featured before, they are already closing down. Right now, literally, I think there's only 2 homes you can buy, and that's not the one my buyer want to buy, even though they are very, very interested. So
Oh,
that's why I'm very excited about the new community I'm going to feature after the
okay.
market update.
All right. And how about we go to the chart and see what you have in store for us? When we
Sure.
talk about the chart, let's compare what's going on in January to what went on in
Last year.
last year. That's
Yeah, we can
right.
use the
So
last
the
year.
first chart that I have on the screen, okay.
Hmm.
Now that
So the
one
first,
shows, now this is
the average
actually
sales
average
price.
sales price. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So you can see it's actually quite crazy. So with the COVID-19, if you look at 2020, there was obviously a drop, because the COVID-19. But then once everybody get back, like feeling life, even though it's not normal, but life goes on, then the price shoot up. You can see it's a crazy straight line. And so the highest point last year was October, and then the price went down, but then the price start going up again. And that's another update. I had kind of patterns I shared with the sentiment agent before. It is a seasonal, because you can see year after year. Usually towards the end of the year, the price went down, and then January, February, the price start going up. So January 2021, we closed average price at almost $1 million, 979. Compared to 2020, that's an increase of 14%, which is quite significant. It's a lot.
Oh, let me
Yeah.
clarify this. You say compared to 2020. Are we comparing to 2019?
Jenny, 2020.
Or you're
2020
comparing
and
month to
2021.
month? So you're comparing
Yeah.
January.
So I
Okay.
only compare January and January because the seasonal effect. I want to make sure like we are comparing the right months with the right months. So last year, it was 14% lower in January. This year it went up by 14%. So it went up to $979,000 for the average price.
Ah, got it, got it. Okay, all
Yeah.
right. So it looks like it's curving us up a little bit. So
It will. It will.
okay,
Based on
all
my
right.
actual experiences, it's literally one property I showed last weekend. It's definitely, I won't even be taking my buyer there to see, but the inventory is so low now. But so we went, and that's the one I say has probably 100 showing. There were agents lining up on the street, and I see agents I know waiting on the driveway. We were
Oh,
like fighting to get in. It's crazy. Yeah.
well,
And
are
that
things
one, this
heating up
one,
again in San Diego lately?
yeah, for sure. That property was listed for 930,000. One of my buyers just bought literally a street over from the property I was showing last year, and their property was much nicer, was remodeled. It was even closer to the school, the very good school. They actually closed, I think, 910. So 930,000 get you 100 showing. I'm going to like confidently guess, I think it's going to probably close at 950 or more. Like that's not going to close at 930, even though this is at 930. It's crazy. Yeah.
Well, if the listing price was 930, closing at 950 is not real crazy by any standard.
Yeah, but it's going to probably be higher. It's just a conditional house. I won't even be paying that price. Just no. But at the same time, there were so many buyers want the house, so it's going to go up. And I think 930, I think the aging is actually quote unquote using the market data is a little underestimated right now. So this is what I tell the buyer, forget about the market cap. Literally, forget about the market cap. Market cap is 30 days to 60 days delay. You need to kind of talk to the current buyer. So usually if I know how many showing got scheduled, I pretty much already know like how many offer they're going to get, and then what's the price for that. And
Oh,
so
really?
just need to
There is a correlation between the number of showings and the number of offers?
definitely when I'm doing my listing, I have the same thing. If it's a popular property, you're going to know this is again averages, roughly. So every 10 showing is probably going to get us one offer. That's kind of my number.
So the buyer's agent actually can get some inside information by calling the listing agent about the number of showings, right?
And yeah, for sure. And so for our NOS, you can use a showing time. So some of the agents do use showing time, and I can see how many appointments already got booked up on showing time. It's very easy. I calculate it. It's
Oh,
you usually every five showing to 10 showing will get you one offer. So I think for that property, I see when my buyer bought the house a street over, we have more than 20 offer. So I think that house got listed at 9:30. It's probably going to get 20 plus offer too. Yeah, it
oh my
the number.
God.
Yeah.
Well, how discouraged would the buyer be knowing that there are 20 buyers are competing for the same property?
Well, they should be happy. It's not 40 offer. I have a 40 offer.
Oh my
It's
God.
crazy.
20
Yeah,
offers is a lot.
but the thing is, that's the problem, and that's why many of the buyers are leaning towards the new home now. If they couldn't get a resale home, so I had buyer doing both, and I had. I think I shared with the audience before. I have never had so many new home buyer until COVID-19. It's like last year I have 6 new home buyers. I have never had that many 6 new home buyers. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. Let's move on to the next chart and see what you can share with us.
So the next chart is it's also about the price, the sold price, but this one we are looking at the median price. The reason I want to use that as a comparison is median price and average price are a little different. Average price take the very, very high and very, very low, and then average them in the middle. So it might not give the best reflection on the market. Median price is literally the 50% point. So that's deciding, what's the higher, what's the lower. So if you see the median price, it's only 749. I know it's still high, but it's a little bit more affordable. So and the median price January 2021 compared to January 2020 has went up by 11%. So it did also go up, but it's not that crazy. So Kenny, if you can go on to the next slide.
Of
The next
course,
slide
yeah.
shows the month's supplies or inventory. So this is what we call the market inventory. And right now, it's only 0.8 months. So San Diego, single family detached home, traditional sale, not distressed sale. We only have less than 1 month supplies of inventory. And that's why people are kind of, going crazy in terms of fighting for the home. And it's a reduction of more than 50% since last year, January. And you can see there's a drop, a significant drop. So the highest number we had was like more than 5 months, but right now it's literally less than a month. So it will take less than a month to sell everything on the market, literally every single thing on the market.
All right. Looking at the month supply, what should the buyer do right now? I mean, how can they better their chances of competing to get homes?
Well, if they really want to buy the home and they are not new home is out of the choices, out of the questions, because they, the area they want to buy doesn't have new home, then I think there are 4 specific factors they need to look at when they decide to work with the real estate agents and to get their offer accepted. One of the most important thing is who you work with really matters. The agents really matters. When I'm the listing agents, I have some buyers agent have never talked to me. They literally just submit the offer, or sometimes they are very arrogant. They have that condescending tones. I don't know why, but sometimes they just not professional. So for me, because I am, like Kenny said, I've been doing real estate for a little bit, and I'm quite productive. So many of the agents I actually already know. So I can just call them up, say, hey, Mr. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so, remember the deal we worked with? Or maybe I didn't work a deal with them, but I've shown you property before, and they usually remember me because the agent, I have done more and more now. Like people say, oh, you showed my listing last time or something. So who you work with really matter. And then the second thing is forget about the comp. right now, if you are literally using the comps, and like I said, it's 30 days behind or 60 days behind. The everybody's removing appraisal contingency pretty much. It's kind of crazy, and unfortunately, it's not a news buyer want to hear. But I am not here to sugarcoat things. I want you to get your offer accepted. So
Let me ask you
when you
this,
look,
Jean.
mm-hmm,
Let me ask you this, Jean. Now
mm-hmm.
I'm watching this program, and you're asking me to have extra reserve in case the property does not appraise. So if I'm putting an offer on a property and I don't have an appraisal contingency, what kind of reserve should I have?
I would say at least 5% to 10% depends on the price point of the listing price. Yeah,
That will
it's
significantly lower the price of the property that I can afford since I need to have reserve, right?
for sure, for sure. But I also don't want to discourage the audience. I closed a deal last month, and we actually got it under appraised value for $20,000. So it's all possible. But it's just like you need to prepare. Sometimes we are lucky; we happen to be the only offer, and that doesn't happen that often now. But once for a while, timing is important. Maybe they happen to have a horrible buyer they are negotiating with, and that's actually what happened to my buyer, the one who got it under $20,000, appraised value. It's because the listing agent shared with me. She has an offer, but they hate that buyer. She literally told me that was the buyer from hell. She very rather not to work with them, and she told me the same thing. The
Okay,
seller felt the same thing.
okay.
So when we submit the offer, and I was actually very nice to her. I talked to her, and she's very responsive too. So we actually literally like have that feeling of like we can really work together as a team to help our seller and buyer. And so we
Mm-hmm.
got our offer accepted. I didn't come up to the listing price, but our offer still got accepted. And my buyer loved the house. Like literally, my buyer even say like, "Oh, Jim, whenever you want to get some lemon, roses, stop by my house, come pick them from my yard." So it was a very nice, experiences. So yeah,
Well,
but
sometimes if the house was tenants occupied
mhm.
versus a house that wasn't tenants occupied, now would a buyer have a better chance of competing if they lower their standard by willing to go for properties that are tenants occupied?
For sure. I actually have one just like that now. It's a off-market deal. So I would say add on top of that, besides the tenant occupied, if you can find the off-market property, like this one, I know my seller is going to list before summer. And I just happened to show a buyer, and then he discussed with me he want to buy in the UTC area, and I just light bulb just went up. Oh, I have a listing coming up. So that is a tenant occupied property, but it's still off market. So the buyer, I already prepared him. I said the property is not going to be nice because it's tenant occupied.
All right,
And he's like,
Alec, thank you for joining us. I appreciate Alec. And Alec is commenting that it's good to know about San Diego market. Yeah, definitely. Now, if you ever have a buyer who wants to buy in San Diego, for sure you want to contact Jean Riley. Now, Jean mentioned earlier that one of the advantages that an active agent has over one who is inactive is that they have personal relationships with some of the people that listed the properties on the market, some of the agents. So certainly that is an advantage an active agent has. All right, thank you for your comment, Alec, and Jean, please continue.
so yeah, so the having a tenant occupied property has less showing, but yeah, you probably can get a better chance. So Kenny, can we go to the next page?
Of course,
Next
next
page
page
is
talks about median market time.
yeah. So the median market time also is a reduction of more than 50% since last year January. Right now it's only 11 days. That is crazy. You get the property on the market less than 2 weeks. It's supposed to go into pending. So that's another, I mean, lessons learned for buyers out there and buyers agent out there. Do not wait, because I literally I show buyer property houses, and then the property just got on the market for 2 days. When I went home, I want to write the offer. The property is already went to pending. It's that crazy. So do
Yeah,
not wait. And
yeah.
also another tip is look for the coming soon property. San Diego, along with other cities, we have coming soon. We literally just had coming soon last year, so it's only less than 6 months we are coming soon. But watch out for the coming soon properties. Try to get it in as soon as possible. Don't. Sometimes the agent will tell you, okay, you can start showing on this day. Don't wait for that day. Usually they might go sooner. So just be persistent, but friendly, persistent in a way to let the listing agent to let you show the property as soon as possible. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Jean. Now, let's say I'm a listing agent. You contacted me wanting to see one of my listings, and I told you,
Mhm.
hey, Jean, we're not quite ready to show the property yet. Can you wait until such a date? Well, what can you say or do that will convince me to let you see the property before then?
You want to talk about the buyer's qualification. So if I have a cash buyer, I say I have a cash buyer. I have a non-contingent buyer. You also want to talk about urgency. My buyer is homeless now. They sold their home. They have no place to go. They need to buy. So talk about the urgency. You communicate that. You also want to talk about, the buyer's expectation. So I might say like this is not my buyer's first rodeo. They have bought and sold many houses before. So they are not going to be like the first time buyer nitpicking every little tiny things. They're going to kind of look at overall the big pictures. On the contrary, if you happen to have the first time buyer, you need to kind of build that up. You need to talk about how excited your first time buyer is. This is their first forever home. They are so looking forward to start their family there. And then I have already discussed with them, what to expect in terms of expectations. So a buyer's agent job, just think about, you are representing buyers. You are buyers' ears, eyes and ear, but you are also buyer in the seller's agent's point of mind, because they don't talk to the buyer directly, right? They talk to you. So this is kind of interesting. A buyer's agent need to be a good storyteller. You need to tell a good story, paint a good pictures about your buyer and present it to the listing agent. This is my buyer's qualification. This is what my buyer's looking for. And then you also probably should talk about a little bit about yourself. Don't bluff, but just say, this is how I work, and I'm communicative, I'm responsive, and then, if you want to talk to, another agent who has done the deal with me, feel free to contact other agents. You can look at my transaction records. You can call the other agents,
Let
things
me
like
ask
that.
you this, just out of curiosity, if I'm a listing agent, I got so many potential buyers interested in my property. How likely am I to contact the buyer's agent's references just so that I can figure out which agent I want to work with? So as far as the listing agent goes, how much or how important is the prospective buyer and the buyer's agent that they want to work with? As between buyer's agents and the buyer, which is a bigger factor in influencing the listing agent's willingness to work with a particular buyer?
I would say, after reviewing many offers, in the end, you're going to kind of have the normal bell shape. Most of people has like 63.8% in the standard deviation. It's a bell shape. So most people are going to come in the regular price. There's only very, very high and very low, very few people. So if everybody been very similar, I focus on the buyer's agent, because the buyer's agent is a person who I communicate with. And Kenny, here's another tip I have. I have never heard about this until recently. So you probably heard about like a listing agent contact the buyer's loan officer, or sometimes the loan officer is a little bit proactive. They might contact the listing agent directly. Either way. But recently I heard is having the broker, in this case will be you, having the broker contacting the listing agent. I don't know, Kenny, you want to do this or not, but I heard this actually help for some
Well,
very high
actually,
profile
if
case.
it helps my buyer, I'll certainly do it.
Yeah, I heard for the very high profile cases, like, very expensive home, just because usually you are dealing with like people are very sophisticated, they have a lot of money, very wealthy, and they want to know if this agent happened to be busy. they can still have the brokers on record, be the backup. So I heard about this one. I have not done it myself, but maybe I will use it one of those days.
Well, yeah, that's important. Also, if I'm a listing agent, certainly I would like to work with a buyer's agent who has enough support, such as the broker support and the transaction coordinator support. That way,
Mhm.
if I'm missing an initial or missing a signature, all I have to do is to either contact the TC or have one of my assistants contact the TC.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
All right, you want to look at the next chart?
Yeah, let's look at this chart because I think I'm taking a lot of time today.
Oh,
Sorry.
don't worry. We got plenty of time today. It's a live stream, so don't worry about it.
Okay, so the next one we're going to segment. If you are having problems buying resale home, the market is so competitive and you cannot get your offer accepted. Your buyer every single time is only like $5,000 apart, and they just couldn't go get a $5,000. I would say the next best option is new home. And I'm so excited because I live in San Diego for more than 20 years, and I actually live in my current home for more than 20 years. Um, I have not seen a lot of new home development around our area. San Diego's land, a lot of highly desirable area has already been built. So this one I'm going to share is called Three Roots. Three Roots is a very exciting community because it's going to bring in a new community of 1,800 homes. That's significant, 1,800 homes.
That's
And
a
this
lot. Oh my
one is,
God.
yeah, it's a lot. And it's actually the site, let me look it up so I don't say it wrong. It's located at so the entire Three Root community is 412 acres. That's a lot, 412 acres. And basically, they're going to designate roughly about 60% of the 400 acres to the open space, park, trail and things like that. So that's why I'm excited because they are not just going to build high density buildings and we're not going to have a life quality we want it in San Diego. In San Diego, we want to be able to see greenery, want to see hills, want to go out to the trail to ride our bike and jog. So that's why this community is very exciting.
What zip
And
code is this one in?
this is going to be, I think, in 92. Is it 92121 or 92126? Oh, that's a good question, Kenny. I totally forget.
That's
But
okay.
this is
We'll
in the
leave it in the
area.
comment if you let me know.
Sure. This is in the area. You know why I'm confused? Because this is in the area we call Sorrento Mesa. So Sorrento Valley is 92121. Sorrento Mesa is 92126. And so those are the two combinations. So that's why I don't remember. I think it's 92126, but I will need to look it up.
Oh
And
my
Kenny,
God.
another thing,
Our
it's
office is in 192126.
how rough? You mean
Our
like the
office is in 92126.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say next. I'm so glad you brought it up. We are so close to this location. I think we are only like less than 4 miles away, three some mile. It's really
Oh my
close.
God.
Very, very
We
exciting.
better hire more agents in that office.
I think we should build a site just to talk about this community because I came across a brokerage and they have literally built a page just for this community and they have their agent do videos talking about this community. So
Oh my God.
everybody is so excited about this. And let me share with you why I think it's excited because it has more affordable housing to all the way up to one more than $1 million. So the number of the bedrooms starting from 2 bedroom all the way up to 6 bedrooms. And then the square footage, I think it starts from a little bit over 1,200 square feet. And those are the townhome flats all the way up to a luxury detached home that is like a 3,600 square feet.
Any
So
idea when they're going to finish building the 1800 homes?
it's going to take many years. In fact, there's another development site I heard, I think it's east of these Three Roots. The anticipated completion is 2040, 20 years from now. It's crazy. This might bring us a lot of business. It's ongoing. But the next project I heard is going to be a little bit more for the higher higher density living. So this is the community with high density, low density, and the detached home. And that's why I'm excited about it. And also another cool thing about this community, I live in the community with 2,000 homes, but it never have a community restaurant, a community coffee shop. This one is going to have a shop, restaurant, breweries, even places for people to exercise. They have car share. There's a lot of exciting program, and it's headed by 3 major builders. So there's Lennar, there's Shea Home, and there's California West. So all of them are very reputable, and
All right.
yeah, it's quite exciting.
When can we expect the first release?
Well, originally they were saying summer will have a model home, but they pushed the schedule forward a little bit. So I heard we might be able to get on the priority list starting March. And the cool thing is I do know sales agent at Lennar, so I got the insider information. So anyway, she said she will introduce me to the sales agent at the 3 Rooms. So hopefully I will get her more information for the others.
Are the models being built right now?
Yeah, it's been built, but everything's still a dirt lot. It's right now they're just rendering, like concept. They have drawings. They don't have the actual home yet.
I want to share with you, yourself and also everyone else that is in the audience. I bought a new home before, and when I bought it, I just looked at the rendering and I placed the order.
Yeah.
I didn't even look at model home.
I know. So we might actually be something like that for this community, because if you can get on the priority list in March, there's no model home to look at now. There's nothing. It's still a dirt lot.
That's a one that was an excellent investment because I bought it at the low point and sold it at a pretty high point. So I was very happy. I made a huge profit on that one. So don't worry. Just look at the rendering. If you like the model, place the order. Okay.
For sure. And the thing is, when I share with my clients, everybody got excited because when they know the location, because everybody asked me where location. So location, if you know San Diego, it's in between Mea Mesa and the Melmar Road. So it's in the middle part, and then Camino Santa Fe, to the west of Camino Ruiz. And so why I say this location is great, because it's so close proximity to the number 1 private employer in San Diego, which is Qualcomm.
Oh, so how far are they from Qualcomm?
Not that far. I think probably close, similar to our office, like 4 miles. You can ride. I think they're going to have a bike route to Qualcomm, and also bus. They're going to have a share, things like that. And then also it's in proximity to UCSD, and that gives the parents of the UCSD students and the teachers and professors another option to buy or to rent, because you don't need to live next to school. This is probably only 10 to 15 minutes to UCSD. It's that close. Yeah.
Well, Alex says, let's see what Alex says. That's great location, close to a lot of restaurants too. He used to live in La Jolla. How close is it to La Jolla? It's quite a distance from La Jolla, no?
Well, depends on where you talk about La Jolla. So there's La Jolla zip code, which is border of University City, and that is literally right next to UCSD. So I say 10 to 15 minutes to that zip code. But if you want to talk about shore, to La Jolla Beach, then maybe add another 10 minutes. So I say 20 minutes or so. It's not that far.
The thing that excites me about this project is its proximity to UCSD. Driving wise, it's a great location. What's the closest freeway to this location?
So I'm glad you asked. It's close to all the major freeways, so it's kind of in the hub. So we are close to 805, we are close to the 15, and we are close to the 52. So you can hop on it and then get to a lot of places very easily. And also another thing really excited to share is San Diego is building the trolley. And so if you live in San Diego, UCSD has a trolley, going through. So this will be very close to the trolley as well.
All
So
right,
that's
thank you
like
so much for sharing so much information with us. I just Jean always has a lot of value information. So I'm going to put you back to your screen by yourself. Give us a 1 minute summary of uh, why you think it is important for new agents to study market data. How can they improve on their customer service by through the knowledge, the local knowledge on the market data?
So it's really, really important for the agent, even like more experienced agents. You really need to know the market because you need to understand the product before you can sell well. And for example, if I don't even know about the new home community, if someone asks me, "Hey, Jean, where can I buy?" I'm not going to even remember this community at all. And so when I first started, when I'm not that busy 5 years ago, I go to the caravans. Right now, you cannot go to caravan, but you can do it with your computer. So my tip is every day when you wake up, the first things you do is look at the market update. Look at how many new homes on the market, kind of go through the one your buyers are interested, and then you can contact the buyer, say, "Hey, Mr. or Mrs. So and so, I came across this, property literally just got on the market like literally 5 minutes ago. Let's go see it, and this is why." So if you could do that, you are not waiting for buyer to contact you. You are 3 steps ahead of your buyer. This is what we call like a servant. You need to be a servant too, which is kind of an interesting word, but this is what I heard. Like um, real estate clients are looking for agent with the following qualities: friendly, friendly, energetic, magnificent, and then a servant. So those, if you can have those qualities, and then as a servant, meaning like know the market data, know how to serve your clients by giving them the information they wanted. I think you will be very successful, even if you just started. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Jean. You shared a lot today, so unfortunately, I need to go to Lily Garipova now. It's time to say goodbye to you, and we'll bring you back in March, okay? All
Okay.
right, thank you, thank you. And now let me go to Haley. Lily, it's your turn
Hey,
now. All right,
hi.
I know you've been patiently waiting, so I want to just kind of chat with you about what's going on in the Bay Area. Now, the last couple of times we did a market update, you kept saying the market's crazy, the market is hot. Is it still like that?
Oh yes, it is, and it's actually a little bit worse. So,
A
well,
little bit worse.
it's not discouraging. It's not to discourage my buyers and the buyers around, right? So we're just in a short inventory right now, and there is a tons and tons of buyers. And yes, I agree with Jean, right? So actually, you have to be very proactive, right? Sometimes homes go on the market and then they run like they just placed on the market in 2 days and they're already in the contract. That's actually how I got my recent clients in the contract. I just saw the house, I sent it to them, second day on the market, and the agent he didn't put offer due date on MLS yet. So I contacted him and I said, I'm gonna send you an offer within an hour. Are you willing to accept it? It's gonna be non-contingent, well above the asking price. So he was concerned about if my clients will be able to cover if it's not gonna appraise. And I said, like, hey, it's gonna be sure appraised, but probably. So my clients prepared, like for the difference. So my
Hmm.
broker, the loan broker, he contacted the agent. He said, hey, they're gonna close for sure. So basically, yes, you have to be very fast, very active. Like, and my buyers at this point they've been very nervous because it has to be a really fast decision, right? And then they've been like backing on, and then they called me and they actually text me later, like in the morning. They said, thank you, Lily, thank you for being our agent. And I said, like, yeah, I just got them in the contract like within 2 days of the house being on the market. And they've been like very stressed about that, right, at the beginning, but then they actually thanked me because at this market you have literally to move really fast. It's either you will be proactive or somebody else, right?
As a listing agent, I work mostly primarily as a listing agent. I very much appreciate when the loan officer takes the
Yes.
initiative to contact me to influence. I don't mind being influenced by a loan officer because I also have a loan license. So we kind of speak the same language. So if I can communicate with him to gain a better confidence in the loan approval process for this buyer or the strength of the borrower loan application, that will help influence me in picking that buyer. So certainly, if you're an agent working a loan officer, you want to take the initiative because the listing agents could be extremely busy. They don't have time to call the loan officer. It's up to the loan officer to contact the listing agent.
Yes, agreed. And actually, I work with a really good loan broker. He's very proactive, right? So he's standing up for the clients. Like every time, like I tell him like, okay, we're almost in. Can you call the agent, right? He's calling right away. Like he makes sure, like reassures the agent that we're gonna close. And it's very helpful, actually. It's very helpful.
You
All the
know,
deals
you
which I,
know,
it's, uh-huh.
as a listing agent, there are four words that are music to my ears. The buyer will close. We will close.
Yes.
Those are the words I want to hear because that has a lot of influence versus an agent who just submitted an offer and I never have a chance to speak to the agent. Don't expect the listing agent to call you. You have to be proactive to call the listing agent because they got so many offers. They can't be calling everybody and they are not interested in talking to every single buyer.
Yes, yes. And actually, this market right now, like as Jean, like I know is in San Diego is a different market, right? Like, so I know it's fast paced as well as in here. It's actually market is like that everywhere, right? So, but when you say about the property, like listed at 920 and it's gonna close at 950, in here in Northern California, right? If I see property listed at 899, so I'm pretty sure it's going to close at 1 mil, right?
Oh
So,
my
and
God.
like we talk about 50K plus and over, right? We don't, like every time my clients will say like, oh, we're going to put 30K above, it's like nothing in here, right? So like comparing to them, like, and I never make a mistake approximately at what price the properties will close, right? So I would say, hey, this property will close at 1 mil, this will hit 1.1, and it does. So basically, in here you have to be very active, very fast-paced market, and it's still not to discourage the buyers, right? There is a properties, like I always say, if you're on the market to buy a house, right, you have to be active. You have to submit everything you like. You just submit offers, right? Do your best and go like right now. What I advise to my buyers, it's just to go the highest as they can, right? So, and of course, we're gonna go non-contingent, right? Every offers recently, which I'm submitting right now at this month, they're all non-contingent. So my buyer pays for home warranty. So it's basically I make it so easy for the listing agent, for the seller, because we have to compete. We have to be able to win the offer. And I know that people, even when people say, "Oh, we want to rent back for 2 months," what I offer to my buyers, I say like, "Hey, if it's not a big amount for you, just offer this 2 months for free." And that way you have a better chance, right? And they think about it. Okay, they let the sellers stay in the house for 2 months free, and it's like plus to non-contingent, and still at some cases we lose because it's like the market, like people have in the Bay Area here, they have a lot of cash, they have a lot of money, right? So basically everything what they we got overbid like by 100K, by 150K, right? Like, so it's crazy, but it's possible to get in a contract.
Okay, other than making the offer non-contingent, other than giving the seller more time to live on the property for free, what other things can you put in the offer to sweeten up the offer?
Okay, so like basically that's what I do. I just offer non-contingent. Of course, we're gonna go above asking price, and I'm not talking about 20K or 30K. It's gonna be most likely 50K, 100K above. And I've done like in 100K, and we lost even sometimes being at
Yeah.
100K above. So then the other thing is like my broker, like my lender calling the agent. Of course, you have to like you have to know the agent as well, right? You have to be very active. You have to call the agent. You basically call the agent after submitting an offer and saying like, hey, please accept us, please accept us. What do you need from us? Do we stand a chance? Please counter us, right? So even let's say even my clients are like, they would say like, okay, this is our limit, like we want to buy a house for 1 mil, and if there is a potential that the sellers, they can counter my buyers, like let's say they will say give us the highest and best, right? So if they will counter us like at 1 mil 30, right, like, or 1 mil 50, I still leave this option for my buyers, like, because you don't know, maybe they have a, they have a parents who can help, they have a family members who can help. So I always leave the window open for my buyers, right? I'm not just submitting an offer and waiting for the agent to contact me. So yes, in a contract wise, yes, we do non-contingent, home warranty, rent back for free, whatever is needed, right? So and also submitting an offers, usually right now when I submit, if my client is very strong and if they come like way above the asking price, I create the documents, like all the disclosures, like I submit already signed to the seller's
Oh,
agent.
yeah.
He sees my commitment, right? He sees
Yeah.
all my documents already on his table. So yes, it's extra work for me as an agent, right? Because I don't know if my offer is
Yeah.
accepted, but I think it's a big deal for the listing agents to receive the committed client, right, with all disclosures already on the table signed.
Yeah, of course, of course. In Southern California, recently I submitted an offer that is non-contingent, and I offered to pay the buyer will get their own home warranty. I will pay for the natural hazard disclosure. We'll pay for the homeowners association documents. Pretty much pay for everything. Okay,
Yeah.
we still lost, and
Yes.
uh, and then the listing agent called me and said, Kenny, I'm so sorry. They offer pretty much the best because you got a loan and they have a better loan program than yours. And then a couple of days later, to my surprise, he called me and said the other buyer backed out. I said, oh my God, we got that one. So
Yeah.
just try, keep trying, keep trying. So as you can see, if you're an agent in this market, you got to work extra hard now, extra hard. So let's look at the chart and see what's going on in the Bay Area. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, the
Actually, I
first
just
chart shows median list price.
uh, let me open up my chats. Sorry.
Of course,
Yeah, I
yeah,
wanted.
take.
Mhm. Yeah, I wanted to add actually to what I said before about the relationship with agents. Yes, it's very important actually to call agents. And this recent deal which I got in, it was the same way, right? I submitted, I actually, and the agent reached out to me and he says like, "Oh, I remember you. You showed my property like 3 or 4 months ago. Like my listing, like." And so I personally, I just remembered his name. I'd never met him, right? But he remembered me. He remembered my name. He remembered my like bringing clients to his listing, and he just basically knowing me somehow, like he said, "Okay, I know you. Let's accept it," right? So relationships with agents, which are important. So let me see
Yeah, take your
the
time, take your time. And while Lily is
yeah.
doing that, have you found it?
Yeah, so first one we're looking at it's a median list price for the past 2 years, right? So okay,
Yes.
so like on the first chart, you see the difference between San Francisco and Daly City. So of course, okay, San Francisco at the beginning of the COVID, as I said previously, everyone who wanted to buy an apartment or condo in San Francisco, that was a moment for people to buy, right? But recently it started to grow, and actually on a chart, right, they come with the average price. So average price, because they use BMRs and everything, so you see it shows that the listing price going down, but actually the prices are actually spiking right now, specifically in condos. So if a couple months ago, let's say, you could buy and negotiate on a condo in San Francisco, I was submitting for one, like maybe 3 or 4 months ago. I was submitting for condo, which was listed for 800, but it was previously bought like a year or 2 years ago for 1.1. So they sold at 900. We lost because my client was coming in a lower price,
So the
but they
prices of condominium went down?
um, they went down previously, but right now they pacing up. They growing up again. So if today's market, like as if today you look at the condos in San Francisco, they're not going down. Actually, the market in San Francisco is picking up. So, and which is, like I just submitted, um, submitting, right? Like let's say a month ago, I submitted for another condo in San Francisco in Hyde Ashbury, and they priced it, I think, at 899, as I remember. So no, or maybe 800. They priced it at 800. So we wanted to come like closer to 8 plus, right? And they closed at 1.2. So like I knew the value was there, but then somebody actually overpaid about 100K above of the actual
Oh,
market value. So yes, and that's very common in Bay Area right now. People overpay, like like let's say, for example, my recently I submitted an offer like about a month, like less than a month ago in Union City. So there is a specific neighborhood where homes close to the park and school, and people target this area. So if like let's say, so I submitted for one house, and they had everything is like a nicely done, but then like second story of the house, they didn't have flooring, they had like plywood on the floor, right?
oh,
So, and
plywood. That's
plywood, yes,
rarely heard of. People don't use plywood on the floor these days.
yeah, they didn't have the time probably to replace it. So in this neighborhood, nothing like sold more than 1 mil 50, probably 1 million 50, right? So, and the house have to be like with renovations and looking nice to hit this price, right? But we submitted at this, like at one house in this area with plywood floors. So I submitted close to 1.50, right, for this house, which is the highest price in this area, which can be possibly be, right? And so we didn't even get a counter because the house closed. Like, I called the agent and I said like, hey, what's the price did you get? He said I got 1.2. And I said like 1.2 for the house with the plywood floors in this neighborhood where
What zip code is
and he
that
said,
one in? What zip code is that one in?
I don't remember the zip code, but I'm sorry, I don't remember from top of my head, but I know the area very very well. It's close to my house. So basically, a lot of agents like whom I'm reaching out after I submit an offer, and they don't reach out to me like within like a couple hours or maybe 1 hour. So if I don't follow up, so they actually, like I always follow up and say like, what is the highest did you get? And they say, oh, we got 1 mil like 100K, and they shocked themselves. They say like, I don't think the house is valued at this price, like. And this is what the listing agents telling me. And it was like just an example. Recently I represented a buyer in a Niles area in Fremont, which is a nice area. It was basically it was a flipping house, right? It was a really bad condition house with a mold. So the house in the area would be valued at 1.2. They put it on the market for 700 something, right? So my client came at 800 cash. So, and then I called the agent and I said, hey, do we still have a chance, right? And he said, I got like 1.75 or 1.50, and
Oh
I
my
got
God.
two offers cash. And he said like, I don't think the house is valued at this much. And I said like, well, I'm pretty sure they will can flip it, and they can get their value at 1.2 at anyways if somebody buys a house for themselves, right? So
Yeah, that's
so
what's
this
going on in Fremont right now. So market is crazy in Fremont too.
Fremont is yes, it's catching up. It was a little bit slower, but it's actually catching up. Yes, and like people mostly targeted like Union City previously, because Union City is still under, like, you could get a house under 1 mil, right? And Fremont is like already like above 1 mil for single families, right? So, and of course, like, people will go for everything what is under 1 mil, but then Union City is already, like reaching this point right now.
Oh,
And
okay. Well, let's look at the next chart. Next chart shows inventory.
let me see. Sorry, my um. Okay, and then in inventory. Yeah, well, just to talk from top of my head, but you can see the graphs because I'm very um, okay, on the market inventory, of course, like, so if we usually in the usual times, like in December, January, we have a slow, like really low inventory usually, right? Like at the regular markets. But right now we are in COVID market, right? Don't forget we are in COVID market. So everything what we have right now is much less than it was like previous years, right? So
Yes.
basically inventory right now, yes, it's adding up little by little, and usually I could see like 10, 15 homes coming up on the market. And like I have clients all over the Bay Area. I have them from in San Francisco, in Danville, San Ramon, Fremont. I have like them in Peninsula as well. So basically every day I wake up and I look at the market, what is new on the market, like what can I send to my clients. And like I try to be very proactive, right? Even like my clients receive these notifications, but I call them and I say like, hey, we have to go and see this, we have to go and see this now, right? So
Wow.
yes, the market is like adding little by little, but it's not enough. It's
Let
not
me
enough for the
ask
market.
you this. Every day when you wake up, how much time do you spend just watching the market on behalf of your buyers?
Uh, so basically, I spend about 10, 15 minutes because like if there is a listings coming up, I have to look where they are located. Are they close to the road? Do I want my clients to go and spend time to see that, right? So basically, in 10, 15 minutes, I look, and usually I see not only what's coming on the market, right? But I'm looking what is going pending and what actually closed and at what price. So that will give me a better idea, like where to aim next, right? What, like what price to give for another property. So, but as my advice right now at this market, you have to go your highest right now. So that's the only advice. And if you look at the projections, if we keep being like that on the market with this low inventory right now, and we didn't even hit the summer yet, right? We're gonna go only to grow, and potentially we're gonna grow 10% or even more, right? So, just to tell another story, in New York, I submitted like
Newark.
maybe like New York, yeah, like
Okay.
maybe less than 2 weeks ago, I submitted an offer, and then I called the agent and the agent said like, I got 48 offers. And I
Oh
said,
my
what?
God. Was that a
40
single family residence?
single family residence? And so it was like probably second or third single
How
family
old was the
residence.
house? Is it a newer home or the older home?
No, it's an older home. It's a resale and it was a nicely done home. And it was a good square footage. Schools are not good. Like what's very interesting right now, everything sells. Even the homes not in a good school area, everything sells. Nothing stays.
My
Previously,
God.
people would be, yeah, previously people would be targeting and overbidding homes in a good school area, right? Right now they don't. They just submit for everything.
Everything
So
sells. I've been hearing you using the same words for the past 6 months.
yes, yes. So Bay Area market is really, really hot. And it's so interesting. Yesterday I submitted couple offers, and today I submitted two offers for Livermore, one in San Ramon. So, and yesterday the agent actually reached out to me. She called me, the listing agent, and she said she actually apologized, and she says, I'm sorry, but we got like 100K above for the property over your, like we overbid like 40, 50K, and then somebody put 100K on
That's
top
in
of us, and they
Livermore? Is that in Livermore?
it's Livermore, and then they countering these people. So the listing agent called me and she apologized and she said, I know how hard it is with the buyer's market right now.
Yeah, it's
And
tough
like
for the
it's just,
buyer's agents.
yes. And so she even, like even the agents, they feel it because on the listing side, they have clients on listing side, but at the same time, they represent buyers as well, right?
Of
They
course,
understand
yeah,
how
yeah.
hard it is.
Tough.
So, Livermore, I can talk about Livermore a little bit because in the Livermore previously was a little bit ignored, right, in some
Yeah.
areas, and there is a sunset area in Livermore where in last December, no, this last December, I closed the house at 9:15, and then my clients were thinking they've been overpaying, right? And it was a flipped house with a good condition, so basically nice house, nicely done. So, and I actually negotiated the agent, the sellers, they put a new AC for my clients, new water heater, so which is unusual practice, right? Like I actually made these improvements, like get these improvements from a seller for my buyer. So, and my buyers were thinking they've been overpaying at 915, right? Right now, what I see in Sunset area, the homes coming up at 900 plus, and they closer to 1 mil right now
Oh
at the
my God, that's
listing price.
crazy, crazy.
And
You want to move on to the next chart?
yes, yes.
Okay, let's look
Uh,
at the median list price, and this one is San Jose and Santa Clara.
oh, sorry. You know what? The graphs, San Jose median list price. Okay, as I said previously, if you look at the homes, they do not hold on the market more than 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Some listing agents, they just aim, like they market it for longer, they keep it like on the market for a week or maybe second week. But majority of the homes, they're going faster, right? They put it on the market. If somebody will come with a good offer, even if they say there is an offer due date for other agents and they advertise as an offer due date set, but the house can go faster, like if you come with a non-contingent, like way above asking price, the seller's most likely to accept it. So everything moves really fast, faster than 2 weeks. I wouldn't say some of the good homes, they would stay on the market 2 weeks.
Okay, all right. So looks like median sale price, we covered that. And inventory. Now, inventory, it went down, came up, and now it's down again.
Yes, the inventory is down, but actually it's coming up little by little. As I said, like it adds up, but it's not enough, right? If for one house, like previously for one house, if it would be like 7 offers, right now you would see 15, 20 offers, right? So there is there are a lot of buyers on the market and they're very active.
Okay. Now let's look at the next chart. Days on the market now, pretty at the low point right now, days on the market. So
Yes.
extremely, extremely hot market.
Yes. So, and then like on my next chart, you just can say a little bit about Sacramento area, right?
Yeah,
Do you
Sacramento
see?
median list price is actually rising right now, as I can see. Inventory is
Yes.
declining, so I think that the two goes in separate directions. One is going
Yeah.
up, the other one is going down.
Yes. And actually, I just can say a little bit what's going on exactly, right? Like just why this is happening, because a lot of, I have a lot of questions from my buyers, my friends, and they've been waiting for the market to go down long time already, right? So, and then what I can say right now, what is moving this market, right? Of course, we know interest rate is very low, right? Recent deal, which my loan broker locked up my clients at 2.5% for the conventional loan, which is
30-year
super low.
fix, is that the conforming or
Yes,
non-conforming?
conforming. I
Conforming,
think, yeah,
okay.
yes, conforming. So that's number one. Then, like the buyers, they got the more buying power because the banks like like at the beginning of the year, they changed conforming loan limits, right, from 765 to 822. So now every buyer can buy much more value home, right? So another thing is like what moves it, right? It's inventory. We have a very low inventory, right? And everyone wants to buy. Everyone wants to use this rate, right? Everyone wants to use this potential of the loan limit, right? So then
Yes.
another thing is like it's a market, it's a it's a stocks, right? Bitcoins and so on. So people have a lot of money like from stocks, and of course they want to take it out partially and move it to down payment, right?
Yeah.
So that's another. And of course, like if you look at the market, what's happening right now in Bay Area, like it's a COVID, right? COVID situation. A lot of, I'm pretty sure a lot of retirees, they don't want to move and sell right now. They probably hold their properties. So they don't, but that's another factor why we have such a low inventory, right? So and people started to move outward of the whole Silicon Valley, right? They're moving to Livermore areas. They moved to Sacramento, everywhere outward. So, but in the meantime, they still buy inside of Silicon Valley as well, right? So, so everything grows out and in, right? So basically, all these factors, they play a big role on the market right now, right? And
Yes.
of course, I really, really hope we will have a more inventory.
Yep.
And then
Okay.
talking
Now
about
we're looking at price forecast right now.
price forecast, as I said, Zillow calculated, they say the prices will go up to from 9 to 10%. But
Yes.
I'm thinking if we're gonna be like that with this inventory, we're gonna go at a much higher percentage growth,
So if somebody asks
because
you, well,
right now
Lily, would the real estate market crash in 2021? What would you say to them?
no, it's not gonna crash. It's just gonna grow, and there is no like there is. So to understand a little bit in the Silicon Valley, right? Like majority of the homes in like in 2009, 2008, the period of this crash, majority of the homes, not majority, like about 35%, they've been bought on cash, right? Majority of the homes they paid out. Like so basically, if you look at the market, how it if you will get inventory coming up on the market, like you have to have like tons of like let's say 30 or 40 homes show up on the market at the same time to market to go down, right? But it's not
Yeah.
going to happen. It's not happening. Everything, like everything what comes on the market, even if person loses a home, right, potentially he puts it on a short sale, or he's like potentially like there is a threat to go to foreclose, he's putting on it putting it for sale, and he's still gonna get overbid. Like he's still gonna get a lot of offers for this house, right?
Okay.
We're not gonna go down. So
All right. Let's look
it's
at the next chart. Next chart shows what? This San Francisco County market update. So what can you share with us about this chart?
I can skip this chart for now. It's
Okay, we'll skip
basically
this chart and we'll look at the last
uh,
one, medium sold price. So it's a comparison of different counties.
oh, which one did we see? Medium sold price. That we can skip as well, because
Okay, all
I
right. We'll go back to the screen, just the two of us. And
mhm.
I think my phone just rang, so hold on, let me go ahead and turn this off. Okay, now I want to chat with you. Obviously, today we have a lot of prospective agents or newer agents that are watching our show today. Now, I see that you are extremely busy right now. So may I ask you, if you don't mind me asking, within the last 6 months, on an average, how many hours do you put in into real estate in a week?
So I basically live real estate, right? So honestly, I have kids. I don't see my kids. They all like, I live real estate. Sometimes I have like 15 showings all over Bay Area, right? I can go to San Ramon. I can go to Livermore, show like 5, 7 homes, and then drive home to Fremont. And from Fremont, I go to San Jose to my appointments, right? I'm all over Bay Area. showings, then I have a lot of paperwork, I have a lot of phone calls. So I'm constantly busy, right? I always have work, I always have something to do.
Yeah.
It's never, it's like you have to be very, very active. Like it's not the market where you can see a home coming up on the market and you say, oh, we can see it on a weekend. No, no, this is not this market. You can't postpone it to see with the clients on the weekend. Sometimes when my clients say like, oh, we can see it on a weekend, but it's like what, Monday today, I say, no, 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 we're gonna go and see it today or tomorrow. We have a good, a good chance to get an offer
So
accepted,
for
right?
newer agents who are trying to make it in the industry, what advice would you give them? Because there's many agents I've been watching the show, they're thinking, well, what can I do? Because many of them are not busy. And then they're looking at you and they're looking at Jean Riley. How can they be so busy? I'm not busy. So what's going on?
I think it's just devotion, right? Because right now, my clients are really priority, So, like I understand I do have my family, but, at this fast-paced market, I can't, like, when I have a clients right now, I can't slow down right now, and I can't, I can't postpone things for them. This is not the market to be, like to be quiet and sit and, like wait for something. And I have responsibility and devotion to my clients, like because I'm working for the good results for my clients, and until I get, if I have a client, like I'm gonna work until I get a good result for them, and that's my devotion. I'm not gonna postpone something for my clients, and I'm way ahead. Like sometimes I'm like 10 steps ahead of, like what my clients thinking in order for their offer accepted. The main thing for me is like a final result, right? And if you have clients, you just have to be active. You have to, like if just be active and keep moving, right? Like you have to be active.
Let me ask you this. Some of our agents are so new in the business. And whenever there's a prospective client that call them, is obviously a new client. Are you getting more existing clients calling you, or what is the percentage? Are you serving more newer clients or existing clients, or what's going on?
So I do have existing clients right now, and plus I have newer clients calling me and reaching out to me all the time because they ask me about certain cities in the Bay Area, right? I'm very, as I said before, I'm all over Bay Area. So if somebody asks me about some people just reach out to me, some buyers, and they would ask like, hey, how it is in San Ramon, and what's the price range we can get a house, and they give me specifics. So I just tell them like what their potential purchase price would be, and how the market in there, and what they can get for this price at this market right now. So I'm reaching out to everyone whom I know, and people who like actually existing clients and new clients as well.
Okay, well, glad you've been very successful within the last 4 years if you've been with Centermac. Every year your number goes up, so which is
Well,
really, really good.
yeah, right now I'm actually, like numbers are good, but I'm really, really, really want to get a home for my clients because it's so hard, right? And like it's not even like about, um, yeah, it's just devotion to my clients. I want to get a house for them, which is very frustrating right now. But
Yeah, it sounds
I'm
like what's more important is to getting the homes for your customer than it is your own performance. But I
yeah,
think the client's service to your clients will bring you more business. I think that's what's going on right now. You're giving your best to your
yeah,
customer. All right, thank you everybody for watching our market update. And this is our first time live streaming in the public. We've been live streaming privately. And if you like our channel and you've liked the program, feel free to give us a thumbs up. That will give us more encouragement so we know what kind of shows you like. And also, if you like our program, please subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate it. And then share this video with your friend. And again, let me see if Jean Wright is still around. If she's still around, she can say goodbye to everybody. Okay, Jean is apparently is just the two of us. So Jean is gone. I wish everybody have a wonderful weekend. If you're Chinese, we're celebrating our Chinese New Year this Thursday. Okay, so everybody, the Chinese audience, 恭喜发财，财源滚滚，新年快乐. Okay, all right. I'll see you next month on our live update. Okay, have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye.
Thank you.